Hi, I'm Nedra Knurk, President of Futura RGV, and I want to welcome our candidates and our moderator and all of our audience out there on our Futura RGV Facebook page and later when you're watching on the Futura RGV website. These forums are available for all of you wherever you are, as long as you have an internet connection. Whoops.
You get that?
We have to make sure that our moderator's sign is up. The District 27 voters can watch tonight wherever they are, as I said. But I do want to thank our sponsors who help us put on these events. Rhodes Enterprises, AT&T, Sam Garcia Architect, Clark Chevrolet, IBC Bank, Frost Bank, L&F Distributors, Valley Land Title, Brio Bank, DHR Health, Ernie Williams, and our in-kind sponsors, Copy Zone, Upper Valley Mail Service, and CSL Productions, and Milo Rodriguez over there, who's doing all the recording. That's his company. So thank you, Milo. I also want to thank Stephen Wingert and Ryan Henry of AIM Media, and of course AIM Media owns the Brownville Herald and the Monitor, which are helping us bring these to you. And we are located in the Venture X building here in Brownsville. And of course, Brownsville X has part of the Brownsville Herald there, so we're all kind of working together, and I guess that's a real good message for all of us. We all want to be junta to get the message out to you voters. So I do want to introduce someone very important here, is Edward Yao. And Edward has is co-president of the League of Women Voters of RGV, and they have partnered with Futura RGV to help get an awful lot of good information to you before you vote. So Edward, tell them about what League of Women Voters is doing.
Thank you, Nedra. My name is Edward Yao. I am co-president of the League of Women Voters Rio Grande Valley. In partnership with 411.org, we will be providing nonpartisan voters guides to the people of the Rio Grande Valley to provide nonpartisan objective information provided by the candidates themselves, that we will be sending out questionnaires to them after this event so that they may fill out and give to you, the voters. Again, it is 411.org. Thank you so much.
Okay. I do want to call to your attention that we have 3 candidates on the Republican ticket for District 27, and you will notice that Israel Salinas is not present, and I would like for all of us to give a thought and a special prayer for Israel Salinas. The reason he is not here tonight is because his grandmother died this morning, and as I told Israel, that's where you need to be. I didn't need to tell him, he knew that. But we are thinking of you, Israel, and our prayers are with you and your family. And with that, I want to introduce our moderator, Michael.
Well, thank you for having me.
Michael Lemus. And Michael Lemus is of Michael J. Lemus and Associates, and I'm sure many of you here in Brownsville already know him. But Michael, you're on.
Why, thank you for that very warm introduction, Dr. Knurk. Thank you, gentlemen, for taking the time out of your evening to be with us. We're going to go ahead and start with an initial question that you have 90 seconds to answer. We do have a timekeeper, and we will interject if you go over the allotted time. We're going to start in Cameron County ballot order. In that order, we'll have Adam answering first. Then Raul, you will go second. So we're going to go ahead and jump right in and get started. The first question, and this is going to you, Adam. Besides the people in our community, what do you see as District 27's single biggest asset and our single greatest concern? How would you lead to address this concern?
Well, thank you for having me. My name is Adam Hinojosa, candidate for Texas State Senate District 27. The newly drawn District 27 provides a great asset in that it has a great economic potential. We are now tied together in the South Texas coast. We have farming and ranching operations all throughout the district. We have small businesses, vast small businesses here. We have large businesses in industry all throughout the district. And so it creates a great opportunity for us to work together. 2 major ports also in this district. As a small business owner in Corpus Christi, Texas, I understand those issues, especially on the small business scale, and what we need to do to help our businesses back up through this COVID pandemic. And one of our biggest concerns out here is public safety. I am a champion for our police officers and our first responders. We need to make sure that they're well funded, that they are well trained and well equipped, and we need to secure our southern border. So that would be a big concern.
Thank you for your response. Raul?
Hi, thank you so much, Michael. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Raul Torres, and I'm running for Senate District 27. I've been asked this very important question: what are the best assets that we have here in South Texas, and what is the biggest concern? Let's answer the first question, part of the question, the asset. I believe that our Texas values, the values that the people of South Texas embrace and have for generations, is our greatest asset, because it is from those values that we create the strong economy. It is those values that keep the family unit together. It is those values that will create the future for us. And second, the concern, border security. You see, with proper border security, ladies and gentlemen, we have this strong economic tie with Mexico. And we need that economic tie to be able to flow the goods and services that we exchange with Mexico. And that gives our South Texas region a stronger economy than if we seal the border off. That is how I believe we can address these things. And how we do it is by working together from people from both sides of the aisle, working for the common good of South Texas, because Texas is stronger when South Texas is stronger. And I believe we can do that. I know how to work with people from both sides, because the end of the day is to make Texas better, stronger, keep our families safe.
Thank you for your response, Raul. The subsequent questions, you will have 1 minute to respond to those questions. And so we're going to go ahead and switch on over. We'll go back to Adam. Adam, what are your qualifications for this position?
So my qualifications for this position are pretty vast. First and foremost, I'm a man of God, and so I pray for wisdom every single day to make the right decisions when we're in this office. I am a graduate of the Regional Police Academy, so I have some background in law enforcement. I am a business owner. My brothers and I own 5 small businesses in Corpus Christi, Texas. So I understand the economic issues. I understand how issues impact small businesses and business in general. I am the chief financial officer for our businesses, so I understand finance. And I understand what is needed on the education fronts as well, having come from a background of family members who are educators. So I have a big range of qualifications that I think will serve me well as your senator for District 27.
Thank you for your response. Raul?
Michael, I believe what makes me qualified for this office is, number one, I have the experience in the legislative process. As a prior state legislator, I worked with people on both sides of the aisle to pass some really good and important legislation during the 2011 legislative session. I'm a CPA. I help people solve problems, and that's probably my greatest strength. I know how to solve financial problems, tax problems, business problems. I've just been blessed with that gift from God. I believe that my experience and my ability to work with people and to bring parties together to find a win-win situation is what makes me the best candidate for this job.
Thank you, Raul. On to the next question, and we'll go back to Adam. Would you have supported SB 1 passed by the last session of the Texas legislature regarding changes to the voting laws?
So I'm not exactly familiar what exactly is in SB 1, but as it pertains to voting laws, I totally support voter security and voter integrity, and I would support that.
Thank you for your response. Raul, same question.
Ladies and gentlemen, everywhere I've gone throughout South Texas, when I campaigned in the 2012 session for Senate District 20, and the people that I've talked to today, everybody wants fair and honest elections. And when a bill is proposed and a majority of legislators agree, that makes good sense. I think it's good for the people. I think we as the citizens want fair and honest elections, and it is our job as your representative to ensure that we create fair and honest elections. Let's not kid ourselves. When someone is given the opportunity to cheat, they will try their best to cheat. So what we have to do is find those opportunities and bring an end to those opportunities and make sure we do have fair and honest elections so the will of the people is heard.
Thank you, Raul, for your response. We're going to move on to the next question, which this will go for you, Adam. The next question is as follows. How would you have voted on the legislation restricting abortions that was recently passed by the legislature in the last session?
I am pro-life, and I would have supported. I would have voted for those restrictions.
Okay, thank you for your response. Raul?
I would have supported that piece of legislation had I been in the legislative process, because the people of South Texas, we believe in family. We believe in God. We believe in that hard work ethics. And it is these newborns that come into our presence that God gives us as family that we share and precious so much. So I definitely would support taking care of those babies.
Next question, and this is going to you, Adam. The question is as follows. If you're not the eventual primary winner, do you commit to support and campaign for the eventual nominee of your party?
Right now, my values of conservatism, they lie with the platform of the Republican Party. So the answer is yes, as long as my opponents show that they are going to pursue those same interests, then I would wholeheartedly endorse and support their candidacy if I'm not the nominee.
Okay. Thank you, Adam. Raul, same question.
I would support the person that you, the people, elect in this primary and do everything I can to ensure that they get the nomination, as my opponent said, as long as they project the same values that guide my life, then I'm behind them 100%.
Thank you for your response. We're going to shift gears and go on to a different topic. Adam, this will be your question. Last February, Texas had a winter freeze, and most of the state, with the exception of El Paso, lost power. We are not sure we are ready for another freeze. As a state senator, what have you done and what more can be done to assure our electric grid is ready for another winter freeze?
Well, just to be clear, I've not been a state senator, so what I will tell you, though, is that Texas has been energy independent, and it wasn't until recent policy on the national level where that has begun to deteriorate. I think that energy, especially in Texas, is one of Texas's greatest assets, and we have the ability to shore up our energy grid. We just need to make sure that our legislation removes those restrictions and allows us to do so.
Good. Thank you. Raul?
Well, Michael, if I had been a senator and when this occurred, I would have been a big voice expressing my concern about what caused the problem and what has been done. According to my research so far, there's still concerns in the minds of many experts that our grid is not ready for another blast like that one. And because of that, I would have worked more closely with the Lieutenant Governor. Governor Abbott would have been I would have contacted his office as well and expressed my deep concerns about what has been done. And in fact, I would have insisted that more things would be done to ensure that Texans and their families are protected.
Thank you for that response. We're going to move on to another question. This would be for you, Adam. Our region has continuous problems with flooding, especially in smaller towns and lower income areas that severely impact the lives of the members of those communities. If elected, how will you work to fix these issues?
So a lot of these issues are on the state level and the county level. And one thing that, as a state senator, I would do is work with the municipalities to come up with a more regional plan, and that would attract funding from the state level so that we can fix these streets and the flooding issues that are prevalent in those areas. It is important to have a good plan and to work together with the city and county municipalities to get that done.
Thank you, Adam. Raul, same question.
Yes, Michael. The problem with South Texas is we have been for so long ignored by the legislature. Ignored in our infrastructure needs as well as our education needs. First and foremost, we need a strong voice in South Texas that will take the concerns of South Texas to Austin and work with key legislators and other stakeholders to ensure that these needs are met. Because again, if South Texas isn't strong, Texas is not strong. And we would need to continue to enforce our needs upon the legislature so they can hear our voice, because the money is available and I can show them how to find it if they're willing to work. There's no reason for South Texas to be left behind.
Okay. Thank you both for those responses. We're going to move on to another question and a different topic. This will be for you, Adam. Texas leads the nation with the highest uninsured rates at approximately 19% and growing due to the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. Many had pointed to Medicaid expansion as a way for Texas to increase health insurance coverage for Texans, reduce state spending, and draw down at least $5 billion in federal dollars to the state. Do you support Medicaid expansion? If so, why? If not, why not? Adam.
So I support keeping Medicaid and the promises that we made to our elders in place. I think that the free market will help in competition in bringing down insurance rates. We've seen that government is not good at being in the insurance business, and we need competitive companies, and so that's going to require, opening it up across state lines so that we can get competitive rates down here, and that's what's going to lower those insurance rates. But for sure, Medicaid needs to be in place and funded so that we keep the promises that we made to our elders.
Okay, Raul, same question.
Thank you, Michael. Medicaid and other social programs were never intended to be long-term fixes for the population. I think a better solution is a great job. I would focus on building our economy in South Texas, drawing more manufacturing base, and allowing the people of South Texas to be able to have those good-paying jobs. Not just Austin, not just Houston. We can have those good-paying jobs here in South Texas. Because if we have a good-paying job with good companies, those needs are going to be taken care of by private industry. That would be a primary focus. And again, Medicaid was always intended to be a short-term fix to help families get back on their feet.
Thank you for those responses. We're going to move on to another question and a different topic. This will be for you, Adam. COVID shed a giant spotlight on the need to reach the last mile in broadband coverage in the Rio Grande Valley. While this last session, the Texas legislature passed legislation to create a statewide broadband office. Although we haven't seen any resources given to the local communities, and we have a tremendous need, especially when it comes to education, to close the digital divide. What more do you pledge to do to make high-speed internet available to consumers?
Well, from the state level, we have something called the Telecommunications Infrastructure Fund, and that is still being funded, yet it's not being issued out to our telecommunications companies to expand their networks, to bring in that broadband that is necessary. We need to we need to be able to, and that is already earmarked for those funds. So who knows where those funds are going now, but they need to be going back to the telecommunications companies because we're not through with our infrastructure, especially now due to COVID and the need to continue to be more in touch via the World Wide Web and through our Zooms and everything else.
Thank you for that response, Adam. Raul, same question.
Michael, I believe that private industry is best suited to handle those kind of issues. You know, government was never was not created with the intent of handling every social and need out there. So private industry should be given the opportunity to take care of that issue. If given the right incentive, they will do it faster, they will do it cheaper and better than any government program.
Thank you, Raul. On to the next question. This is going to be for you, Adam. A few months back, Governor Abbott announced that he wanted to build a border wall and authorize a transfer of $250 million as a down payment to launch its construction and hire a program manager and contractors. He also called upon Texans to donate to the wall. Do you support Texas building border wall and using state tax dollars to do so? Adam?
Short answer is yes. We need to do all we can to get our southern border secure. Country with no border is no country at all. Now, I am in favor of building a wall. I am not in favor of building it half a mile inland. I'm in favor of building it on the border because that is important for our security and safety of our citizens, of our businesses, and our families. So it is extremely important. And if the federal government's not going to jump in this, we in Texas need to do something about it.
Thank you for your response. Raul?
I am in favor of building the wall where it makes sense. I'm in favor to using other technologies as well. The key is that we keep Texans safe and we keep that border open at the right place so that our trade with Mexico is not interrupted.
Thank you for that response. We're going to move on to another question. This is going to be for you, Adam. We are seeing an unprecedented amount of Texas educators leaving the profession. Many are citing low pay, mediocre pension benefits, and the feeling of being undervalued. If elected, how would you address the issues the profession is currently facing?
I come from a family of teachers and educators, and I understand what they're going through. We need to address classroom sizes. We need to address state-mandated tests. We need to address the pay scales for our teachers. And we need to look also more into the vocational VOTEC careers and promote those in the high school and college levels so that we can have an educated workforce for businesses to come. That's going to build our tax base. That's going to give us the money to increase our pay for our teachers and to do those things. I mean, I know my sister is a teacher, and she's very frustrated with having to teach to a test. And it's not every student is going to go on to a professional job. Some of them are going to go into vocational and technical jobs, and we need to be able to educate our children in those areas. And it's going to create a good workforce for the industry that we can attract to District 27.
Okay. Thank you for your response, Adam. Raul, you're up.
Thank you. Education is the foundation of our society after the family. It does matter how our children are educated. Now, our system that we have is as old as a World War II battleship. It doesn't function as efficiently as it once did. I would highly recommend, and I will recommend to the governor, that he form a special task force of experts and of other stakeholders to bring together a commission to do a thorough study of how to restructure and redevelop our educational system in Texas. Let them decide what the best practices are, and then let's rebuild our system to make sure that that system works for all our children in South Texas as well as East Texas, North Texas, Central Texas, and West Texas.
Thank you for your response. This is going to be the final question before our closing remarks. This question is for you, Adam. The RGV continues to grow in population and congestion. If elected, what will you do to help address the traffic congestion and need for additional means to commute across the Rio Grande Valley?
Well, more people in the area means more jobs, more taxes being paid. And with those taxes, you can address expanding roads, fixing streets, doing the things that you need to do to ease the congestion of traffic. If we're gonna ask for more jobs and we're gonna ask for greater opportunities for our children, we know that there are going to be some growing pains. So as we continue to grow, we're going to need to be able to work together to expand accordingly, and that's done with increased taxes, but not increased tax rate, increased taxes from industry and jobs being produced in the area. So that's what we need to do.
Thank you, Adam. Raul?
Right. For too long, ladies and gentlemen, we the people of South Texas have been ignored by the legislature. I said that earlier before. It's time that they start paying attention to South Texas. We have the same issues, if not more, than the rest of the state. We have greater needs than the rest of the state. We have one of the lowest highest poverty rates in the state. We have one of the highest dropout rates in the state. We have one of the highest teenage pregnancies in the state. We have special needs that the legislature has ignored and not listened to our needs. That or our current legislators have not been loud enough. I promise you, I will be loud enough to bring these needs to, and I can even show the legislature where we can get the money to build the roads without raising taxes. That I am certain of. Trust me, ladies, we can make this happen.
Thank you, Raul, for that response. Now we're on to closing remarks. Both of you will have 1 minute to have a closing remark, and we're going to go ahead and start with Adam first. Adam?
Well, thank you to all of you for allowing me to speak tonight. My name is Adam Hinojosa, candidate for Texas State Senate District 27. I was born right here in Brownsville, Texas. My family is from Santa Rosa, Texas, and here in Cameron County. My grandfather was a deputy sheriff from 1947 to 1974, Luis Lucio Hinojosa. We still have our family cemetery here in Santa Rosa. I live in Corpus Christi, where I and my two brothers own 5 small businesses. Economy, education, and public safety are my main issues. And I'm happy to announce that I've been endorsed by the Corpus Christi Police Officers Association and the Beeville Police Association because of my commitment to public safety. And we need to secure our border. We need to work together. And I just ask for your vote and your support. God bless you. God bless the great state of Texas.
Thank you, Adam. Raul?
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Raul Torres, and I'm asking for your vote because our needs are great. It's going to take a very strong legislator, outspoken, determined, and a problem solver to bring South Texas up and equal and par with the rest of our state. Ladies and gentlemen, the reason I need to serve you is because the longer we wait, the more our children and our grandchildren are going to have to do without. And I don't want to do that. I can work with people on both sides of the aisle to make things happen. I've proven that in 3 major pieces of legislation that we passed in 2011. Major pieces of legislation that can transform our state into a more vibrant, stronger economy with a strong family base. That's what I stand for. I stand for you and not for special interests. I stand for you and not my party. I stand for you and my family because after all, ladies and gentlemen, if we don't have a strong family, we don't have anything else. My name is Raul Torres. Visit us at www.electraultorres.com and learn more about our campaign.
Thank you so much for that, Raul. I want to thank both candidates for being with us this evening. These are your candidates, Raul Torres, Israel Salinas, who is not with us, and we're thinking about him and his family today. And we have Adam Hinojosa. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here. I would like to let the folks watching know that early voting starts February 14th and runs to February 25th, and Election Day is on Tuesday, March 1st. So without further ado, I'm going to kick it back over to Dr. Knurk, and thank you to all those that are watching and will continue watching as the days come. Thank you.
And I, too, want to thank our candidates. We very much appreciate having you here. Our moderator, Michael Lemus, and our technical staff who are bringing this to you, and all of you people who are out there watching our candidates to learn what they can do to serve you as Texas Senator from District 27. And I also want to mention that Futura RGV is conducting a number of these candidate forums at the federal, the state, and even some at the local level. And all of them are available on our Futura RGV Facebook page and on our website. And with that, I would like to say that Futura RGV's message to you tonight, to our viewers tonight, to all of us, be an informed voter. Exercise your duty, exercise your right, and exercise your privilege to vote to keep a strong democracy. And with that, I thank you and good night.